elephants. The story is told of a small village in northern India where unusually a lot of the inhabitants are blind. And one particular day a message comes to the village that an elephant is going to visit. There's a buzz of excitement as the elephant is the sacred animal. 6 people are chosen to go and experience the arrival of the elephant. Excitement begins to build and you can hear the crowds cheering. And as the 6 blind people approach the elephant, one of them takes hold of his ear, another its tail, one grabs hold of its leg, its tusk, another one its belly, and another one its trunk. And they experience holding on to the elephant for a little while. And then the elephant moves on to another village. And the 6 people go back to report what has happened. Tell us, the villagers say, what was the elephant like? Tell us, what was the experience of meeting the elephant for the first time like for you? The one who had held on to its ear says, wow, the elephant is like a giant leaf. Strange, thought the one who was holding on to its leg. It felt like a tree trunk to me. The one who held on to its tusk said, it seemed like a long length of pipe. Another who was holding on to its belly shouted, no, it's like a barrel. One who was holding on to its tail said it's like a length of rope. And in no time at all, the 6 people started arguing. I wonder, are there occasions when you come across people who don't agree with your point of view? They don't see things the way you see them. They don't hear the things that you hear. Sometimes we don't agree with others. We don't share their point of view. Sometimes this leads to arguments and disagreements. In our news this week, there have been plenty of arguments and disagreements across the world because of somebody's skin colour and the racism that exists all over our world. Surprisingly, there are people who are different to us. There are people who don't share our point of view. There are people who don't see things in a way that we see them. And we can disagree and we can argue, or we can reach out a hand in friendship, in love, in togetherness. There's a story in the Gospel of Luke chapter 9, and it comes toward the end of the chapter. Jesus and his disciples are on their way to Jerusalem. And as they travel down from the Galilee region up north, they travel down and have to go through the village and region of Samaria. And for many centuries, there's been a disagreement between the Jews and the Samaritans. They hate one another. They despise one another. And whilst they are walking through, James and John, one of the disciples, find disagreement in the village. And they rush up to Jesus and say, Jesus, they didn't agree with us. Shall we call down fire from heaven and burn them up? Jesus turns towards them and tells them off for their suggestion. Turn down fire, burn them up. Sometimes people do not agree with us. We cannot see their point of view. We cannot understand the way they act or they behave, and disagreements ensue. We live in a world of difference. We live in a world of different cultures and different peoples. Yet a message of togetherness, a message of love, a message of forgiveness, a message of mercy. No matter what point of view people come from, we need to listen. We need to try and understand. We need to be respectful of others. Consider today the way you act, the way you speak, and the way you listen. Think of the people who went to experience the arrival of the elephant, the experience of holding on to exactly the same creature, but being unable to agree what that creature was. I hope that throughout our lives we may seek to understand the point of view of others, that we may seek to listen, and if there is difference, let not that difference want us to say, let me bring down fire, let me call down fire, because that may not be, and in fact is not, the way to live. How will you act? How will you speak? How will you listen today? Elephants.